So which of the group did you join from? Okay. Hello. Okay. Okay. So I can hear you. I can hear you. Are you a software developer? Yes. Quality assurance. Okay. You're currently working. Look for job now. Like there are a lot of job on LinkedIn. I know all these job portal or job sites. There's a call on loudspeaker. Sorry, it's echoing. Yes. Hello. Okay. Okay. So I was asking a question. Are you a software developer? And which you told me your QA, which is quality assurance. Like, what have you done, and what are you really currently working on your project, like your personal project? And what is the difficult area you're having, or part that you're having, or just tell me your day-to-day routine as a QA, as a quality assurance. Automation, like you mentioned automation. Like, what kind of tools do you use? Like, you're talking about automations, because there are a lot of tools there out there which you can use to automate and stuff like that. And what's the outcome of it? Well, I'm a DevOps. I'm a DevOps engineer. I'm a DevOps engineer, so I haven't used most of those tools you mentioned, but I have a little idea on quality assurance, and which is a QA. And mostly what I do as a DevOps engineer is I do more of like, okay, well, I developed, right, I write code, and but mostly my job is not writing out code. It's mostly, I'll call it script, because you do more of scripting, which is, but we have to do bash scripting, shell scripting, and like for example, now we want to, okay, deploy an infrastructure on any of the cloud provider. We have to write script to that. If you're using Terraform, if you're not going direct to AW, if you're not doing platform as a service, or is it platform or software as a service. There's what we call an AIC, which is infrastructure as a code. So you're going to use Terraform, and during that's the best practice. I think I would tell anyone. Like I use Terraform to do that. Like what I have to do, I want to infrastructure, I want to create an EC2 instance running on AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. Or I want to create a database. I write script concerning that. So first of all, what do I do? Okay, first of all, I have to like install AWS command line, which is CLI, on my running on my local machine, which is either you're using in case if you're using like Windows, you might be using command prompt, right? If you're using Linux, you'll be using mostly terminal, what we call terminal in Linux, which is Ubuntu machine. If you're using Mac, you're using more of Mac command, which is brew and the rest and the rest. So you install that on your Linux. I do use Linux because it's a Windows system, but I converted it to be a Linux machine for me because based on my jobs I do, and I do more of command, I do more of like writing, running commands. DevOps is mostly running commands. You have to know how to make use of your Linux machine, learn how to run commands, how to, because most of those things you'll be doing more of installation on, even though you're not doing on your local system, you're doing on cloud. You have to, like in cloud, we have machines running. Those machines you can have EC2 running, a Windows on cloud, which is Amazon. There are a lot of cloud. We have GCP, Google Cloud Platform, which is Google Platform. We have Linode. We have Azure. There are a lot of it. So mostly I do mostly work with Linode and AWS. So I'll be running sometimes I'll be running my EC2 on either EC2 I mean on Linode. Then I'll be sometimes I might be running on AWS. So first of all, I have to install what I call Terraform on my machine, Terraform, and I'm going to install Visual Studio Code to enable me to do more of my writing of my script or my code. Let me use that word code. Because when I mention script, it might be what script is like opposite script, like code. You're writing your code, normal code, you want to deploy. So those are the things I do. They're mostly okay. In my day-to-day jobs as a real DevOps, because DevOps is broad. DevOps is not something, but as a DevOps engineer, you call yourself a DevOps engineer. You have to learn so many things, and I think you have to learn. Okay, let me just mention some of the things you'll be learning as a DevOps engineer. You'll be learning more of Jenkins, Terraform, Docker, which is used to dockerize your application and to create image for your application. Then with the Kubernetes is like a container orchestration. Then mostly we use that to deploy. We use Kubernetes as our endpoint, which is to deploy our code to. You can deploy your code to servers, any of the servers of your choice or the environment you find yourself working. Then what next? We use Ansible. Ansible is mainly most though you can use Ansible to it's a configuration tool. You can use Ansible to patch your servers. Like example now, let me just use Facebook as a case study now. You know Facebook, right? You have been you have been making use of Facebook. So what do we do in Facebook? You see Facebook running. It's not as if they are using one. They're not using one server. Facebook is running up to close to 500 servers. How can you control 500 servers as a DevOps engineer? It's not possible. Even though you're controlling like okay, let me say probably you're controlling let me say three or four. It's not possible. It's not easy to control. Move to one server to another to debug, to check this, to do the issue or what's happening here or stuff like this. Or you want to install something, you move from one server. No, it's not done that way. So what we do, we use Ansible. We have the master node and the worker. It's like in Kubernetes, same thing as in Kubernetes. So what we do, your voice is echoing. Sorry, someone is joining us. Oh you're welcome, Abraham. You Jesus. Hello, Abraham. Your this is what your good evening. So I was saying something to Godwin. So we use Ansible to we use Ansible to patch our server. What do I mean by patching? For example, now, okay, we have up to 10 servers running, and we want to be using only one servers to be doing our work in daily basis. What do? We have to configure our servers. There are a lot to, I know you might not really understand this now, but I think with time you definitely understand what I'm saying. Like we have to patch your servers to be running, like we have the master nodes and the master server, let me use that word, and the worker servers. Like the master servers is the one you'll be using to do more of your connection or your downloading. Okay, go on, go on. I see your hands. You raise your hands up. Okay. Well, I just feel like discussing. Yeah, I feel like talking, like sharing my knowledge. Oh, please, your speaker, remove it on. Uh, it's echoing here. Sorry for that. Okay, I feel like okay, we should share knowledge, share ideas. That's the point. At least you tell me about yours and what you do in your environment and what tools you use and how you use it and how you can configure it to give a certain result and stuff like that. So in my own face, I'm telling you what we do in my environment and what I do mostly in my environment and what tools I use and stuff like that. So Abraham, you're welcome. I think you're a boss. Hello, Abraham. Hello. So that's it, Godwin. So there are a lot to do. Like a DevOps engineer, we do a lot. What we deploy code to. Okay, well, I would say, it's not an easy struggle. Let me say, it's not an easy journey. It's a journey that you have to be serious about and work hard. It's all about. It's a competition. Let me use that word because going to software development is people be feeling there's money in it. I won't lie to you. Sure, there's money, but it's like more of competition. You have to be good. That's just the truth about it. And sometimes most of us, the point is that you do have a LinkedIn profile, right? You have a LinkedIn profile. Hello. Okay. What you do there is, can you just mute yours? Okay. What we do there is like, for example, you're on LinkedIn and you have so many friends, like followers on LinkedIn, and I don't know how to put it, but in DevOps, like I'm a DevOps engineer. What I do, I follow people which is DevOps. I follow my stack which is DevOps. I don't go for I'm not going for KOA which is quality assurance or going to Python. Though in DevOps you learn Python, you learn any of the language, but mostly what I follow trends that is related to my field, which is DevOps. So what I do, I followed up, I I comment, and also I this open source project. I contribute to open source project most time, like on GitHub. I contribute to that, and also I apply for jobs, but it's very hard because of the ATS, which is the applicant tracking system. It's very hard. Man, those guys, I don't understand what kind of. So what the thing that actually grants me job is my LinkedIn profile. What I modify my LinkedIn profile to my own specification. I modify it and what I do there, but I'm not advising you to do it. You can still do it, but for me, it works for me. And I can withstand that. I can back it up. I on my LinkedIn profile, I'm putting 6 years of experience. I have to be frank to you, 6 years of experience, but I'm not up to 6 years in DevOps. I won't lie to you. I'm not even up to 2 years in DevOps, but I learn. What I say, I learn. I don't go out. Every of my day I spend it with my laptop, and I thank God where I'm here. There's light, constant light. So I spend with my laptop. It's just mostly sometimes I just chill out, and Sundays I go to church. Weekly basis like I go to weekly service, which is Wednesday, and that's all. I don't even go out. I don't. I after food, my laptop. After my laptop, if I'm tired, I rest. I wake up, continue with laptop and stuff like that, with coding and stuff like that. So that's how my life has been in the past 1 year, and I'm not lying. I'm not asking anything. So you modify your LinkedIn profile to your own specification, and make sure that you put the accurate date. Like for example, if you're working, if you are not working, you have not gotten a work experience yet, but what you do there is you okay, how should I even put it sef God, man. Okay, let me use an example now. You have worked with okay, NNPC. Let me use NNPC because we're in Nigeria now. Okay, you have worked with NNPC in the year 2020. I think that was your first job. Let me put it that way. That was your first job. So you put that year in your first job you got with NNPC, indicating what you did for them and how you go through it and what problem you solved and so on like that and so on, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying now? So that's how it works. So you modify it to your own specification. Then from there, that's how you like, okay, fine. You get through your first, you just do that like two, three job, like you can open okay, a senior, a junior, a internship, like internship, junior, senior, or middle. You understand? On your LinkedIn profile, then you'll be posting, do more of posting on LinkedIn. Do more of posting of content concerning your field. Like if you're a DevOps engineer, you post about DevOps. You write, okay, you build an infrastructure on AWS. You write how you use Terraform to deploy EC2 instance, database, RDS, which is a database, sorry, um, your VPC, your subnet, your a lot of it. There are resources on AWS which I do most time. So you write about it. You have to also be a technical writing and also indicating those code, what you did and how you do it. Screenshot it from your system and paste it on your. I use Medium to write. I write most of my content. That's my blog. I write on Medium my content and what I do daily basis, what project I'm working on. I put it in writing, then and I post it on LinkedIn, tagging hashtag at DevOps, infrastructure, Terraform, every tools you have used. Those are the things I do. So you can go on. Let me see. Medium. I use Medium. Okay, go on. Linux, scripting, shell scripting, and the rest. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm listening. Make use of it. Running. Yeah, yeah. They point. Okay, running on a Docker container, right? Okay. What like which are you running it on your local system or running it on? Okay, for now, I think you should be like in every applications you run on either on servers or on your premises, which is your local system. I think you do more of monitoring it, like every day you check on it to be running. Like if you're running it on servers, it's different because server is just there to serve your purpose. Like I would say once you're running on servers, it's just once you hit it, except you shut the servers down or whatever. But my advice is that once you think because if you're running your local system, sometimes you might switch off your system, right? Or it goes over and stuff like that. And everything on the system will stop working, right? Hello? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So if you can check, that means you have to restart it back again. Those are the secret about this. You're running on your local system. You restart it again, then you now hit the browser, then you can access your application. That's the reason why if you're running anything on your local system, you have to put it on a path which you later on know which part you're running. You just go there, you CD into it, and you CD into your path, then you now start running it. You know the command to use to run that and stuff like that. Those are the secret. Those are the simple logic about it. If the thing is down, you can still recheck it. You can debug if check the metrics of it and understand what is going on there. Then you just do more of learning about how to debug your applications, your running applications, and also more learn how to check your metrics, if your metrics your yeah it's running and stuff like that, if your application is running, sorry. So those are the secret about DevOps. And DevOps, like most time you see, running it on your local it I know it's a like a tutorial, a demo for that. But if you're doing it on in a real life project, you'll be running with servers or any of yeah, a servers either on cPanel or Google platform, GCP, AWS, Azure, Linux, and the rest. So for now, I think you don't have money to, or, but you can open a free trial AWS account so that you're making use of those things. Start now to learn how to deploy an infrastructure on AWS. Have you done that before?
No, no,
So those are the things you have to be learning now to deploy an infrastructure. At least start by okay running you try to deploy an EC2 instance to AWS using Terraform, but you can still use the interface which is the AWS. Like you just go direct to it, log into AWS and make use of their. But those ones are not really for me. I feel it is just the simplest thing to do. For me, I don't know for anybody. It's just like a simplest thing to do because in most company they I think they work with infrastructure, which is a IAC, which is the infrastructure as a code. Yes. Yeah. Okay. You have learned Docker, right? You learn Linux, right? Or you're using Windows. Okay. Calm down. Like you are okay. You have done Linux, Docker, networking, and Bash script and Shell script. And you definitely understand what how those things works. You know the concept of it. Okay. Next thing you'll be doing, you'll be learning how to push those code to what GitHub using learning Git. You know Git, right? Okay, good. Okay, now the next thing you have to learn is Terraform. How to use Terraform to deploy an infrastructure. Then after that, you move into what we call Jenkins. Jenkins is like the master of everything. Let me use that word. I love Jenkins. What I say, I love Jenkins because Jenkins have so many thousands of plugins in it. There is AWS in Jenkins. There is Terraform. There's Docker. There's Git. There's Ansible. I'm sorry. There's Kubernetes, SonarQube, Nexus, Maven. So many of it I can't even mention. Thousands of it in Jenkins. I always tell people that Jenkins is like the hub of DevOps. You know, when you have a hub of a motorbike or machine, they call it Okada. You understand? uh So that hub that the hub is the one holding the wheel, right? You connect the hub to the wheel, right? You connect the hub. So there's a spoke that connects to every part of it. That's how Jenkins is in DevOps. Yes, I love Jenkins. So definitely, I like if you don't want to, there's what we call CI and CD process, which is your continuous integration and continuous delivery of the deployment. You will be doing that in a real-time live project. Yeah, those are the things because you have to configure it in the state that any person, if the developer write a code, like for example now, they might now push it to GitHub. Automatically, GitHub will trigger a build or to deploy that infrastructure to AWS automatically. Those are the secret about Jenkins. So you will not be going there to run, okay, Terraform init, Terraform plan, Terraform validate, Terraform destroy, Terraform what is it, apply. You're not going to do that. Once you just push your code direct to GitHub, bam, automatically. If depending on how you set it, if you set it up to like, okay, let me say 15 minutes or let me say 2 minutes on your Jenkins, there's where you configure that on your Jenkins. Then automatically the build will start. Except that code is failed, the code is wrong, like your infrastructure you're writing is not correct. You can now see failed to detect failed. Then there's what we call you have to configure it with your email. Any of your organization, like for example, you're working with a group of developers and they're up to like 4, 5, 6, 7. All of them will send their email address to you. Then you configure as a DevOps engineer, you configure that you configure it to that your own I mean configure your email like any if it's a pass it will send a message direct to the email that your build was successful. Thank you. Is it on Jenkins? Hello, was that on Jenkins you did or what? Sorry, I didn't get. Sorry, come again. Thank you. It's just almost like that, but in Jenkins, there's a way it's different from doing that in Bash script or Shell script. So those are the things. Those are the things you will be learning and taking note of because you have to configure your Git GitHub webhook to Jenkins, and also doing that, it's kind of a technical. Like it's not hard though, but kind of technical. Yes, those are the secret about it. So those are the things you have to learn. Then Ansible is mainly, how to make use of Ansible. Ansible is mainly to patch servers and make of your servers, make use of servers like patch your servers to upgrade servers. How to make use of Ansible, like write the playbooks and stuff like that. Hmm. So you learn. I think the major part of this thing is learning. You have learned so far to Docker, I think Terraform, Jenkins, and Kubernetes. You know about Kubernetes, right? Okay. Though I'm still a learner, I won't lie to you. Sure, I told you I'm not even up to 2 years in this DevOps of it. So we have to like, okay, you have to build yourself. I try almost like, though actually I'm working, but I'm not satisfied with the job. Let me use that word. I'm not really satisfied and I'm not really okay with the environment. I prefer getting a new job. Like I'm also looking for a job too. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, you definitely see how I actually open to work, stuff like that. So that is it. What was in Abraham. So there's a lot to work, learn, and we'll be talking about we're just facing on how to deployment aspect and automation and infrastructure. We're talking about the monitoring aspect. The monitoring aspect is also needful because you can't just build your applications there and just leave it there, just running. Something might happen on the way one day. Oh, the application is not running again, and they need to debug it and find what is the issue. That's what we call the monitoring comes in. You have to learn how to monitor your applications and know what is wrong. So those are the things you have to learn metrics. I mean, New Relics and Grafana Prometheus. Grafana is just like a dashboard of a Prometheus. It's used for dashboard of Prometheus. So those are it. Hello? I'm not getting your network is bad. Yeah, I can hear you now very well. Yeah, yeah. Yes, I am. That's my picture I sent. If you watch, you see my picture there. That's me. Yes, I'm actually open to teach. I love teaching. I do that because when you're teaching, these are the secrets you have to learn about this. Once an interview hits it, bam, you won't be so carried away and be furious about it and like I'm scared, shivering. You have this boldness in you that you're talking. And then because I was like, wow, there's a time I had an interview with some white guys in Dubai. The guy was like, wow, wow, wow. So I was like, instead of maybe I was like, what's wrong with this guy? So it's just normal. I love teaching, and I do that. You see me wasting my data is not because of you're not paying me for this, and nobody's paying me for this. I just want to like say do this and learn. When you're talking, you'll be like learning more, and you're sharing impact with others too. It's also good. So you're free. You're always free to hit me at any time. Ask me question. If I can solve it, we can work it together and put heads together to solve that together. There's always a Google Meet here to share screen and stuff like that. So you're welcome, Gabriel, next time. Thank you very much. You're welcome.